Hi, welcome back from spring break. I hope you've all had a nice, enjoyable, relaxing break, safe, most of all. And I hope you're ready to come back and examine the last 70 years, 70 to 80 years of American history. Just a couple of quick announcements before we get started, and then we'll talk a little bit about the subject we're working on this week. First, for those of you who have not gotten a message from me yet about partners for the paper, our paper this semester is on Noah Larson's passing, which I mentioned last week, the week before our break. If you've not gotten a partner, and I sent a message out about this to the Moodle site, through the Moodle site email. If you have not gotten a message, please contact me immediately. If you don't know who your partner is, contact me immediately. I can make sure that you find out. Second thing is, your tests will be returned to you this week. I'm hoping to have them back to you tomorrow, possibly Tuesday, depending on how things go. If you have any questions or anything about that, once you get them back and look at the comments I give you, feel free to send me an email. Finally, a lot of you have asked, what's up with my grade? Why am I only getting half the points for the posting score? That is because you're only doing half the work. For a lot of you, you need to you make the post, which is great, the original weekly post, which is what I like to see, but you also need to comment on other students. You have to do that twice. Remember, it says in the syllabus 2 times per week. So for the purposes of the grade, the way it broke down was your posts were out of 2 points. 1 point if you made the original weekly post, right, answered the questions on the forum. Half a point for each additional comment you made, right? So it's 2 points total. A lot of you got 1 point out of 2, and that really hurt a lot of people's grades. Fortunately, we're only on week 8 of the semester, so you have plenty of time to catch up, to make up for lost time. Shouldn't ruin your overall grade. It might hurt it a bit, but as long as you stay on top of it, as long as you stay on top of commenting and staying engaged in the course, you should be fine. Right. So all that being said, I'm going to talk for just a minute now about Studs Terkel and the oral history that we're looking at. Studs Terkel was, I guess he died a few years ago now, was an amazing historian. He went back and talked to people during the people who had survived the Great Depression, people who had survived World War II, people who, one of my favorite books of his is called Working, where it just interviews people about their jobs, right? And he goes and he tries to capture what it was like to live in the 1930s during the Great Depression, what it felt like, what it meant, what the Depression did to people. And I think he does a really great job, an excellent job of, in the interviews you have, of bringing this out, sort of why we call the Great Depression the Depression, right? There was a Great Depression in the 1890s. A lot of you referenced it in your midterm exams, but that did not seem to have the sort of psychological impact that the 1930s Great Depression did. And I think Terkel does an excellent job of bringing that out. Now, the interviews you're listening to, none of them, I think Jose Iglesias is the longest. I think he goes like 7 or 8 minutes. But otherwise, they're 5 minutes each. They're just brief excerpts from this. If you want to read them in full, Terkel published this book called Hard Times, I think in the 1970s. I don't remember when offhand. Hard Times has all these interviews, maybe not in full, but there'll be these interviews and many others if you want to continue to read it on this. The other thing we're sort of looking at this week is oral history as a method of doing history, right? And so we're reading Feldstein's Kissing Cousins, which deals with journalism and oral history and sort of how they're interrelated, and asks questions about that. And one thing I want you to think about as we go forward in this course is sort of how we interrogate, how we understand history, right? How we look at the past, the various ways we can do that. One of them is oral history. We've seen political history. Political history is mainly what we saw with the World War I section. We've seen literature history, right? Noah Larson's passing. So these sorts of things. I just want you to keep thinking about ways that we can interrogate and examine historical documents. All right. That should be it. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, don't hesitate to write in the questions form or send me a message either through the Moodle email or my regular HCC email. All right. Talk to you later.